Please here, attention here. Tibia and fibula. What is tibia? They are like homologous pair. They are like homologous pair with radius and ulna. Okay. So there are two bones in the leg. There are two bones in the leg. What is leg? After the knee, I have a leg. After the knee. Remember one thing. When I was discussing with some students yesterday, I found when we say thigh, they only think upper part of the thigh. No, the thigh is from here to here. So when there is an exam or question or something which is dealing with you, the lateral aspect of thigh, so don't fix yourself on the front or the top only. All this is thigh, okay? So think like this. This is number one. Just a repetition. The tibia and fibula. Where is tibia? Medial or lateral? Medial. Tibia is medial bone. You can even find, here is tibia and here is the fibula. You can even find the medial surface of tibia throughout. This is called shin. S-H-I-N. Shin. This medial surface is subcutaneous. Yani you can feel the whole medial surface here on your leg. Okay? This is called shin. The very important clinical thing related with shin is that it is a very subcutaneous area. There is nothing important nerves or vessel crossing here. So this part of the bone can be taken for bone grafting. For example, if a person has a very bad injury of radius or a tumor of radius and some part of the bone is removed and we need to graft it, so we have to take the part from the tibia, shaft, shin. Okay? So this is one of the clinical importance. Try to see the shape of tibia. This is the upper end, the lower end and the shaft, and fibula, upper end, lower end, shaft. If you see fibula, really it is very difficult to find this is upper end or this is the upper end. Both of them, they look equal. So when we will finish, I will divide you in groups to show you this bone, especially here, to find where is the upper end, where is the lower end, and how to find right and left. Because if you don't know which is the upper end, here or here, it's very difficult to find right or left. So don't be worried, it will be followed, inshallah. Number one. Number two, here, okay. The two bones are united together. Here is tibia. Here is tibia, here is fibula. Okay? And they are separated or they are connected with the help of interosseous membrane. You know what is interosseous membrane? From the upper limb. Yes. Because the interosseous membrane, like here in between radius and ulna, is there to hold the two bones together. Number one. What are the other? Yes.
Make space for muscle.
Make extra space. Yes. If there is a muscle, for example, arising from here, a very thin part of fibula, so it has a chance to attach to the membrane. Plus, if a small muscle is arising from here, for example, it can have a area for extra attachment. Plus, there is an important factor, depending upon, like we told you in the upper limb, that whenever you fall on an outstretched hand, what happens? The fibers of the direction of fiber is there to transmit the weight or balance the weight between the two bones when there is a fall or there is a special situation. Plus, there are openings so that the blood vessels or the nerves which are traveling from here go back, they can reach. So this is a very brief regarding interosseous membrane. One more thing. The border. Tibia is medial or lateral? Medial. Tibia is medial, fibula is lateral. Okay, this is the front, this is the back. So, there is a margin of tibia which is facing the fibula. So, this margin of tibia is called interosseous membrane, and here, this margin of fibula is called interosseous border. Interosseous border here, interosseous border here. So, the two bones, they are facing like in the radius and ulna. Two bones are facing each other with two interosseous borders. We will see now. Tibia is the medial and larger bone of the leg. Okay. Side determination and anatomical position in the body. Yes. Very important. Sometimes it becomes tricky in exam, so you are confused. So try to hold the bone vertically, number one. All long bones you must keep vertical and it will solve the issue. Number one, anatomical position. Right or left? How you will find? Try to see the bone. You can see this front tibial tuberosity here. Okay, with two condyles. These are called condyles. Like we have condyles of femur, we have condyles of femur, like we have condyles of tibia. So these two are called condyles. So the upper end is made up of condyles actually. We'll see what is the structure of condyles, but try to remember these are two condyles, medial and lateral. Of course. How to find right or left? Try to make the bone vertical. Try to make the tibial tuberosity in front, because there is nothing like tuberosity on the back. There is a very special space. So here tibial tuberosity on the front, and if you see the lower end, this bone, this part which is coming down even the bone, this is called malleolus. I don't know Arabic, someone say rukab or someone, I don't know. But this is called malleolus. What is malleolus? If you see your foot on the medial side and on the lateral side, both sides, like here,
Like bone.
both the side there is, you feel a bone here, here and here. This is called malleolus. So the medial malleolus is made by tibia and the lateral malleolus is made by fibula, and you can feel it, it is entirely subcutaneous, just under the skin. So keep the bone vertical, number one, keep it and the tibial tuberosity on the front. Make this malleolus on the medial side. Always make this malleolus on the medial side of the body, and then you hold the bone, you will find this is right or left. So this in case is the right bone. Similarly, another bone. Okay? Tibial tuberosity anteriorly, where this should go? Medially. If I make it medially like this, this is left bone now. See, try to see both them together. See the two malleolus. See two malleoli. When we say two, they are called malleoli. One is malleolus. Okay, Shiva? With me? So, now you know how right or left and the anatomical position. The anatomical position is acutely vertical bone in the body. How they are attached? They are attached to the femur like this. This is, sorry, other side. No problem. Just imagine. Like this, okay? It must be like this. So, this is what about the anatomical position and side determination, upper end, lower end and the shaft. All this is upper end, lower end and shaft. See, the front you can differentiate very easily from the back. So, the front you have tibial tuberosity and a very sharp border in front. Tibial tuberosity, and from the tuberosity you can even line the whole very sharp border in the front. Border. When I say border, it means a very sharp surface like this. Or take a thing, this is the border, this is the surface. Okay? So here is anterior border. So try to differentiate tibial tuberosity, anterior border and malleolus, and the life is easy. Now you see the upper end. What are the contents in the upper end? Okay, before I go to the upper end, try to find how they are attached in anatomical position, the three bones. What three bones? Tibia, femur, tibia and patella. This is patella. Okay, here is the femur. This is the formation of knee joint. In front of femur, there is some degree of attachment of patella, which is enclosed in a tendon of quadriceps femoris. So here is the quadriceps femoris, and you know quadriceps femoris is made up of four muscles. What? Vastus medialis, vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius and rectus femoris. All of them, they make a tendon, and then in the tendon there is patella, which is the largest sesamoid bone in the body, and then it is attached to the front part of tibial tuberosity here. So Here is femur, here is tibia, this is the upper end of the tibia, here is the tibial tuberosity. You can appreciate on your bones as well. This is the general attachment arrangement here. This is trying to show you a 3D sort of a picture from where we have removed the patella to show how they are attached. You can appreciate the front of tibia here, attachment with fibula here, with fibular collateral ligament, and the lower end of femur with two condyles. Try to appreciate that the two condyles of femur, which look like very deep structures. In contrast, yani opposite, this is very sathai, superficial. To make it deeper so that this must fit inside, you have a special structure inside the knee joint which is called meniscus. It's a C-shaped cartilage here and here. So, two C-shaped or roughly oval cartilages which are mojood here, which are not oval, circular, okay? They are C. The one margin is always open here. So, these are called meniscus, menisci. Two are called menisci. Of course, one on the medial side is medial meniscus, one on the lateral side is lateral meniscus. With me? So, to make this like a deeper structure, the nature has produced here meniscus, here a meniscus. So, if you have a very good C-shaped structure, here this condyle will fit very nicely and the stability of joint is established. With me? Yes. Understanding? So, this is called meniscus 1, the 2 is called menisci. Okay? Of course, there is a hyaline cartilage on tibia, like here in femur. See here a hyaline cartilage, and then there is a special structure which is called meniscus. The meniscus is an extra cartilage mojood in the knee joint only, plus on gross it looks like C shape, on cut section it is triangular to make a very deeper area to hold the two condyles of femur in the proper place on the two condyles of tibia. With me? Yes. Okay. Medial condyle here. Where will be the medial condyle? If I follow this medial malleolus, I am sure this is the medial condyle. So try to see like this bone. Okay? So medial condyle, lateral condyle. Medial condyle, lateral condyle. Medial condyle, upper end contains these structures. Medial condyle, lateral condyle, intercondylar area, tibial tuberosity. Try to appreciate these structures. Tibial tuberosity, yes. Medial condyle, lateral condyle. Between the two condyles is called an intercondylar area. How it looks like? This is the top view of the two condyles, and this is a side view of two condyles. One condyle here, another condyle here. Just imagine the bone like this at your eye level. Okay? So, you are seeing this surface now. Between the two condyles there is an elevation, intercondylar eminence. On this elevation there are two tubercles. Okay? These are called medial and lateral intercondylar tubercles. I will come to it again. Wait. So, medial condyle, larger, groove on the posterior aspect, oval articular surface, medial meniscus. The medial condyle is larger. If you see on the back, here is a groove. If you see on the back of your bones which you have, here is the medial condyle. Just here, you are seeing a horizontal sort of a groove. This is called popliteus, semimembranosus groove. Then oval articular surface. Articular surface is the surface which is lined by hyaline cartilage, and of course there is a meniscus which is called medial meniscus on this. So this is completed. Lateral condyle. This is the lateral condyle on the opposite side. What are the specialties? Circular articular surface, lateral meniscus, fibular facet. What is fibular facet? If you see the just back of your this lateral condyle, you will find a surface. What is facet? Facet is derived from the word face, F-A-C-E, a flat sort of a surface like facing. So this facet or facet is actually fibular facet on tibia, so that the upper end of fibula can have articulations here to make superior tibio-fibular joint. Clear, Shiva? Again, this is the upper end. Upper end has three different structures. Number one, two condyles. Here is medial malleolus. Here is medial condyle. Then there is a lateral condyle. In between the condyle, there is some elevation. On the elevation, there are two tubercles. One is called medial intercondylar tubercle, another lateral intercondylar tubercle. Now, in front there is tibial tuberosity. This completes the upper end. On the medial condyle, just on the back, there is a groove, semimembranosus muscle is there. On the lateral condyle, just back to it, there is a flat sort of a surface, oval or sometimes very appreciable on bones or models. I will appreciate you, try to appreciate you when you are here. This is called fibular facet for attachment of upper part of fibula to make superior tibio-fibular joint. Clear? Okay. Then there is a tibial tuberosity. Here in front is the tibial tuberosity. The upper end of the tibial tuberosity. If I try to draw a tibial tuberosity here, this is the upper end of the bone. Here, two tubercles. Here is the tibial tuberosity. If you try to find tibial tuberosity, it is a triangular or oval sort of a structure like this. It has lower rough part and upper smooth part. Why? The lower rough part is for the attachment of this tendon, which is now called as ligamentum patelli. The tendon of quadriceps femoris, when it's after the patella, it is called ligamentum patelli. Okay? Try to see, this is the tuberosity. Once it is attached to the lower rough part of tuberosity, there is a gap between the upper smooth part and there is a bursa. What is a bursa? Bursa is a sheath, bursa is a system, bursa is a enclosed cavity which is composed of synoviocytes, synovial cells, which produces synovial fluid. What is the function of bursa? The function of bursa is to reduce friction during movements, to reduce ihtiqaq. With me? Yes. Suppose this is a bone and this is a muscle, and they have to move together with the movements. So in between them, nature has produced bursa so that the movement can go without friction, free of friction, without ihtiqaq. This is what about the upper end on the front. Any questions? Good. Try to see this picture. This is how we are seeing the bone. This is called panoramic view. When you see from top, this is called panoramic view. So this is a panoramic view. Here is the anterior part, lateral condyle, medial condyle, intercondylar area, which is eminence, and you can appreciate two intercondylar medial and lateral intercondylar tubercles. Okay? Why this intermediate area is important? This is important because if you see what are the structures from anterior to posterior in the middle part, in the midline. So there are 6 structures almost which are here. Try to appreciate what structures you are seeing here. This is the panoramic view of the tibia. The top of tibia you are seeing. Medial condyle, lateral condyle. This green is the capsule. I missed the capsule here. Why? The capsule is not here until we have a, see this picture. Here you think there is a patella. So the capsule of knee joint from here, capsule of knee joint from here covers the patella. So they say in some books the capsule of knee joint is deficient anteriorly, yani not mawjood. So it means here is patella and it will come and blend, mix with the two surfaces, two margins of patella. So this is green is capsule. After the capsule, there is synovial membrane, the yellow, and it has a very special arrangement. When you will deal with the joints, you will deal with this synovial membrane. Then these blue lines I try to draw the meniscus. Medial meniscus, lateral meniscus. What are the structures from here, anterior to posterior? 6 structures in a row. 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6. What are these? This is the anterior horn of medial meniscus. Then anterior cruciate ligament. Then anterior horn of lateral meniscus. Then posterior horn. Then posterior horn of this medial meniscus. Then posterior cruciate ligament. What is cruciate? Cruciate means cross. Like this. Crossing. If you see this picture, again, you will appreciate 2 ligaments. One going back, kida, and one is like this. If you see the side view, it will be like this. Okay? So, 2 cruciate ligaments, they are maujood on top of this bone, like here and like here. In the intercondylar area. These cruciate ligaments are there to stabilize the knee joint. During football matches or some injuries during the football or heavy players, they can have damage to their anterior or posterior cruciate ligaments. We will deal with the knee part. Wait. Again, very quick revision. This is the lower end of femur with its hyaline cartilage. Here is the upper end of tibia with its hyaline cartilage. To make a deep proper structure to handle this big on this high superficial sort of a structure, there is meniscus which is triangular on cut side. Here is the upper tibiofibular joint which is made by lateral condyle. On the back of lateral condyle there is a fasciate called fibular fasciate. The upper part of fibula articulates here to make this joint. This is to show you the structures like medial medial vastus medialis, lateralis, intermedial and rectus femoris, making a single tendon enclosing patella, and after this is called ligamentum patelli, which is attached to anterior part of tibial tuberosity here. Clear, Shiva? Yes. Okay. Shaft has 3 borders, 3 surfaces. Where is the borders? If you follow the shaft, you will find a very sharp border in front. So very easy to find. Anterior border. Then you will find a medial border. Then you will find a lateral border. The shin, which is the most important part, which remains subcutaneous, is between anterior and medial border. And between medial and lateral border is the posterior surface, surely. Now, try to appreciate the posterior surface, which has most of the muscles attached. Can you appreciate this? This is the back of the tibia. I told you this is lateral condyle, this is medial condyle, and there is a groove, semimembranosus. And here is the facet where superior tibiofibular joint is established. Try to appreciate this line, a ridge sort of a structure. This is called soleal line. I make dots. This is called soleal line. After the soleal, what is soleal line? Soleal line is a rough area or a line structure on the back of the tibia, starting from the lateral condyle up till near to the mid of the shaft. Then this is called soleal line. This gives attachment to soleus muscle. Then if you finish this line, you can feel a ridge. This is called vertical ridge. This divides whole of the posterior surface into medial and lateral areas for the attachment of muscles here. Attachment of muscles here. We will appreciate these muscles. This one when you are here. Okay. Triangular area for popliteus, just on to this side of this soleal line, this triangular area is called area for popliteus muscle. We can appreciate later. And nutrient foramen. Can you appreciate this opening? Small hole.
Yes.
This is nutrient foramen. This may not be available on these bones. Why? Because these are plastic bones. So if they sometime try, okay. In actual bones you will find nutrient foramen. What is nutrient foramen? Nutrient foramen is an opening from where a blood vessel enters into the bone. It comes inside and divides and supply the whole bone. These small vessels are accompanied with veins, and it will make a vein out of this small opening. This is called nutrient foramen, which is there to feed the bone. You need to give the fresh blood supply and drain the drain the venous blood from the bone. Nutrient foramen. Lower end. Here is the lower end of tibia. You can appreciate on the lower end, the most striking feature is this malleolus. This is on the medial side. So medial surface is covered with malleolus. Then it has anterior surface. It has a posterior surface. It has a medial surface with malleolus. It has a lateral surface with a notch. This is called fibular notch. Fibular notch is there to make articulations with the lower end of fibula. Okay, to make inferior tibiofibular joint. So, the bone has two attachments for fibula. One is on the lateral condyle, fibular facet, and here fibular notch. Clear, Shiva? So this is how the fibula makes superior and inferior tibiofibular joints here. The inferior surface. Here, the inferior surface. Try to appreciate again. Anterior surface, posterior surface, medial with malleolus, lateral with a notch, and inferior surface with a bone called talus. So talus is the bone of the foot, one of the metatarsal, one of the tarsal bones here. It will make a joint here, the ankle joint. Ankle Arabic. Good, Alhamdulillah. You know something like that. You become a real Englishman.
Posteriorly, we have growth.
Posteriorly, these are very superficial grooves, sathai, to pass the tendons of the posterior compartment. Anteriorly, they smooth, maybe some grooves for the anterior compartment tendons. But there is no special name, no special structure. Except on the medial side there is medial malleolus, and on the lateral side there is fibular notch for ulna, and here on the inferior surface is the socket for area for talus bone. With me? Nothing new. Fibula. Anything about the tibia? Clear? Okay. Fibula. Very difficult and tricky bone for exams. When they hate you, they put this bone in exam. Okay? They try to find it right and left. And don't tell anyone, I will give you a formula when you are here, how to hold the bone, how to find right or left. Just try to appreciate what are the things. Lateral, small, thin bone of the leg. Then, side determination and anatomical position, vertical. If you see the bone, there is a highest point on the bone here. On the upper end, this is called styloid process. And lower down is not as. But from here, most of you are unable to find this is upper end, voila, this is upper end. Okay? So we will try to find. Try to find the most sharp end. This one is the upper end. When you will hear, I will tell you how to find upper end and lower end. No problem. Upper end has a head, a styloid process, and circular articular facet for making connection with tibia, and then there is a neck. So here is the head. After head there is a small neck. The head has this elevated process. This is called styloid process, like the same styloid process in radius we have seen. Lower end, try to remember these two names, lateral malleolus and malleolar fossa. When you are here, I will tell you lateral malleolus. I told you up till now there is the medial malleolus which is made by tibia. If you see the lateral aspect, you will find the similar bony structure which is again subcutaneous just under the skin, and this is called lateral malleolus, which is contributed by or formed by fibula. Then we have shaft is very tricky. So there are very small sharp borders we will see here, no problem. And then we will see some muscle attachment on tibia. This is about the patella. What is patella? Patella is an oval sort of or a triangular bone here, maujood in the tendon of quadriceps femoris. This is actually patella. This is the largest sesamite bone. What is sesamite bone? A small bone which is enclosed in a tendon. This type of bone is called sesamite bone. Do you remember any sesamite bone in the hand?
In the thumb.
Which tendon? Pisiform. The smallest here, pisiform. Which tendon? Flexor carpi ulnaris. So there is a tendon, flexor carpi ulnaris. Inside the tendon there is a bone, pisiform. We classify this as bone of the hand. Scaphoid, lunate, tripetral, pisiform. So pisiform is actually a sesamite bone in hand lying in the tendon of flexor carpi ulnaris. Tibial osteomyelitis is very common in the lower end as well as in the upper end. It is a very chronic infection. What actually happens is, on the bone there is an infection, and after the infection there is a draining area which comes out of the skin, and this structure is called sinus. So pus is coming out. Fractures are common on the lower end when you are like here and another football player hits you like, and the lower end of lateral malleolus is broken. Like here you can see lateral malleolus. The injury is sometimes so severe that it can even break the medial malleolus. Fractures of patella can be of different variety: vertical, horizontal, circular, or comminuted fracture. What is the cause? Road traffic accident. When you are sitting like this and driving and you hit the car in front. So the first is patella to fracture, and the other important thing is the dislocation of femur. This is the acetabulum here. Okay, here, and this is a person who is driving like this. Now the acetabulum is deep enough, but still when it is vertical condition, yes, standing posture, it's very much fixed. But when it is flexed like this and there is a trauma from front, what will happen? It will dislocate like this, and again will lead to damage to the ligamentum teres and retinacular vessels, which are there to give you ischemic necrosis of the head of the femur. Dislocation of knee are very bad. Here are the Hadia for you, all the names, blah 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 blah.